Greetings and welcome back to yet another daily round, and today we are playing as Eve, and I'm going to do something a bit different today. And usually I slow down the interesting parts or the parts I think that made a big difference, but because this daily was super long and I don't think it was very interesting at all because it was a very weak run, I decided to just leave everything on fast speed, and hopefully I'll give you more insight into what was going on without actually having to show you a 30-minute video at the end. What ended up happening in this daily is, well, of course the first two floors aren't too big of a problem with Eva because you do have that Razor Blade, and with the Razor Blade and of course her Whore of Babylon state whenever she has 1 or less HP, you can deal quite a significant amount of damage, so the earlier floors are not too bad, When you start entering those 3rd, 4th floors maybe, then things get tricky if you don't get any other help. With the inclusion of some very high HP enemies, mostly the drowned popcorn guys, I'm not sure how they're called, but the guys that spawn the chargers which explode into diagonal tears, like they have so much HP, and of course those new chargers also have so much HP that if you don't get some help early on, or if you're unlucky and get a lot of rooms with those in them, things can really screw you over. But you can see so far, this daily is not too bad. We have all the damage, we actually managed to pick up Book of Shadows, we even have Goat Head. So how can we have so many options open to us and yet not be able to do anything substantial? That's just how Isaac is sometimes. We also have a lot of consumables. You can see me having 14 bombs. You'll see those bombs dwindling down as I use them on enemies, because that's gonna be my primary way of dealing damage, or the best way of dealing damage, since stairs will become so ineffective. Even at this point, I'm starting to feel that this run is getting kind of weak, because even though we have a decent amount of damage, we shoot rather slow, well, at least slow in terms of in the terms of being comfortable with our tear speed, I guess, because at some point, even though maybe your tear shot is fast or relatively fast, it still feels like it's not fast enough, to be able to kind of knock those enemies back and deal damage to them. And because the run was weak, I didn't decide to pick up experimental treatment here. I'm a person who will usually take experimental treatment, but taking it on Eve, especially when I'm trying to maintain 1 or less hearts, I think it's a very bad idea. First of all, we can get an HP up, and that can screw us. I'm not even sure if the HP up you get from experimental treatment gives you health. So I just decided not to take it. And of course there's always a possibility of it giving you very bad stats, and since this is looking like it's going to be a weak run with no significant damage ups or DPS upgrades, I decided not to risk it and just go for it. I kind of regret not buying the red candle on the previous floor, because that would help a lot, especially on rooms like this. And especially, you see me, I somehow managed to pick up an HP up, probably an accident, and then I managed to get into my normal state, which is of course super weak. So things are not looking up. You can see, just even though this is sped up 5 times, you can see just how long it's taking me to deal with some of these rooms. And you can see me taking Sister Maggie, and that's a familiar I would never take unless things were really, really bad. But thankfully, because we do have Book of Shadows, and we do have some ways of kind of dealing damage and getting along, I guess, it's not that weak that we would outright lose, like if he had only 1 HP, then, things would get tricky. But because we have a lot of HP, and we have ways of getting HP with Dark Bomb now, and we did have so many consumables, you can see I have 0 bombs now. And because we have so many consumables, we can do things, but doing things like placing bombs optimally, or having to worry about where you're gonna position yourself so you get the advantage of a multi-dimensional baby, things like that just add up like at the start, it's okay, because I guess it's a bit more interactive than just shooting and everything is dying. But at the same time, when you have to do it, for like 30 minutes and there's no hope in sight, then things end up getting pretty tedious. I used Gigafart, the item here, just once, if I got anything useful out of it, I would have mentioned it. But the Gigafart item, I'm not sure how it's called, but the one that makes a large poison cloud around you and shoots those rock formation in a direction that kind of randomizes where it goes. I use that to find the secret room, because that rock thingy has a chance of killing rocks, and of course has also a chance to destroying the walls. So I found a secret room, but there was nothing in it that was too significant. But thankfully, our cursed room did contain the fortune teller machine. And of course, when I have like 90 cents and our run is super weak, I decide to use all my money, or at least most of my money, to play that as much as I can in hopes of getting something, a trinket, maybe a chaos card, so we could do harsh, things like that. And I end up getting the Nope trinket, or however it's called. And the Nope trinket makes it less likely for you to get spacebar items. So I'm kind of relying on that of giving, so I don't get spacebar items, because after all, I don't want to replace my Book of Shadows, but at the same time, no spacebar item is so good that it's gonna win this run. And if you eliminate those from the pool, then of course we have a better chance of getting some items that will actually impact as well. And things are looking up, we got Maw of the Void, we went into the shop and got 1+1, the item that duplicates your consumables. So, things are not that bad. And we even got Black Candles, so we don't have to deal with curses anymore. And now, of course, we're getting some damage ups as well. But still, even though I think this lore was very beneficial to us, of course, don't get me wrong. Especially with Maw of the Void, because this is one of those items that if you have any Sablasso damage, Maw of the Void will carry your run. But even so, things are not great, even though I feel like they should be at this point, especially because of Goathead. We got so many devil deals, but they didn't contain anything good. We even get penetrative shot here, that's touch, and of course, you might think that this run has taken a turn for the best, but of course, because it took me so long, I don't have even a chance of getting to boss rush or hush. I have a problem with, maybe it's just my pathing errors, but when I explore the floors, I tend to go in the wrong direction every time. And I don't know if that's just bad luck, or maybe like I enter a certain direction. I enter the rooms in a certain direction, which means that I end up being more likely to fight dead ends. But either way, when I saw it, if I made it like the previous floors in time, I think I would be able to catch boss rush. But because I think I messed up 2 floors and just visited every dead end possible, things kind of turned down not so optimally for us. But of course we're using Maw of the Void here to a great effect, and with Dark Bomb we don't really have any problems with health, because we can regenerate those Spirit and Black Hearts. And of course I'm using my bombs to fight secret and second secret rooms. This is still a daily and we try to maximize our score, and even though this run looks bad, and it is bad, well at this point not so much anymore, but it was bad, you have to remember that everybody's playing the same daily, so it's not, you're not competing against the players who are playing a better daily than you. They're all in this situation together, or we all are in this situation together, I guess. So we just do what we do. We can do our best, and sometimes you're gonna play these bad runs. I think in a way they're kind of fun, because they challenge your Isaac prowess, I guess. And like it wasn't so weak that we couldn't do anything like some runs are. It was just weak enough for not to be the super fun daily. Of course, I think if you did something different, like not picking up the Nope trinket, things would end up different for us. And I'm not sure, because I read some on the thread that some people found a way to break the game, and some people of course had a very hard time struggling. So I'm not sure how that turned out. Maybe we made some right decisions, some wrong ones, and that is how it's going to go with these dailies. I even saw someone, well not someone, but some people actually managed to fight both boss rush and hush, and I'm not sure how that happened. But of course, taking different decisions in dailies is gonna end up having different effects at the end. Well, I think I try to optimize my decisions for them to be kind of the most beneficial on the long run. I'm still gonna get dailies where my decisions lead me to my demise, and while someone gets a bit lucky or just takes a different path to success, and they end up with a better runs. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think the history of daily runs shows that, because I have quite a few good dailies in between, like top 10 ranks, and then I have some average ones like top 100, and then there's some that are like top 3000. And I try to play every daily from the start until the end, because after all, like I said, I think we're all in this together, and someone found a way to break it, or maybe I missed a very obvious clue that everyone else got, and maybe that achieved them the win and I didn't find it. That's how it goes sometimes, and I'm okay with that. So you can see that this run so far, well, like I said, it's not the strongest, it's not that weak, and thankfully, we got into Dark Room with okay score. well, not too bad, and because I'm used to kind of taking a lot of damage, things don't look too weird, except for the fact that, of course, we didn't manage to get to boss rush or hush. But because, we have some tools at our disposal, like the Book of Shadows, which gives us a shield, and we have that pentagram thingy, the black sack, I think, or something like that, we are able to use that to some advantage here to kind of dispose of enemies a bit quicker. And with Maw of the Void, of course, Darkroom is a hard place to be, especially when you're weak. So we do end up getting hit a lot. And I don't know why I'm exploring here. I'm kind of trying to get to the boss as fast as possible. Because, every hit we take, like, if you explore 5 rooms, one hit we take is gonna deduct all those points that we got from exploring 5 rooms. So if you're not strong enough and you know that there's a good chance of you getting hit, it's actually a better idea not to explore at all. But because I have Book of Shadows, I maybe go a bit overboard here, and I still do get hit sometimes, so that's a bit unfortunate. Like in this room, I thought I could make it, but of course I couldn't, and then because I still have charge of Book of Shadows, I tried to do this room, and it works out. And then of course I use my last charge of Book of Shadows on the boss. I still get hit a few times, but hey, what can you do, right? I get about 10,000 damage penalty, which is something that I used to get when I started playing the game, and it's kind of fun to see what it takes for us to be this weak when we're coming back to it, I guess. So with that said, I thank you for watching this one. I'm sorry it was maybe a bit shorter, maybe a bit different than what I'm normally used to, but this daily really wasn't very fun to watch or to commentate, in my opinion, and I hope that, at least there was some short-term entertainment value. Guys, I thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.